Hey guys, it's me, Medic Jack 24 here. Today I'm just going to be quickly discussing my own thoughts and opinions about the current issues and plans that Lucasfilms and Disney has for Star Wars. As recently as a lot of more of the Disney Lucasfilm stuff has been appearing more and more into my recommendations section of YouTube. I kept on watching it, and yeah, so it turns out currently in the in a political portion of the business side at least, and for what most of the shows and a lot of the creators, mainly George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau, are basically creating stuff more and retconning a lot of stuff that Disney did in its early days of Star Wars, such as releasing out the sequel trilogy without really much of a plan, and just rewriting a lot of characters. So yeah. However, the bad news is that practically that I keep on hearing on how Kathleen Kennedy is becoming more and more of an issue for the current team that's trying to get stuff that the fans want. Like both casual and hardcore fans, and people who just watch it because it's Star Wars and nothing else. Nothing else, so yeah. So as my view on this, as a mixture between casual and hardcores, I do go into partial bits of the lore, but not all. But I can give like good portion of the timeline for both Legends and canon, but it's kind of getting harder and harder to see on which side is making a good point. As for my personal headcanon, I prefer to go with Legends, even though I grew up in a time where the Disney era actually had much more of an impact over my mind of watching a lot of Star Wars, as I grew up with a lot of Disney stuff, even though I didn't really like it as much, but I still grew up with it, and yeah. So currently, it's a mixture of a mess for Star Wars, and as far as I'm hearing that it's a mess to try and get it out of the hands of Kathleen Kennedy for for stalling production in certain projects, or stalling stuff for any for any of the fans to really get. As I heard that she wants to stop have a lot of people stop have the appearances of certain characters in the shows to be stopped, which I don't get, even though, because it actually makes more sense in the universe why it makes more sense why the characters are there, but she's just trying to get rid of stuff and success in order to, and for what I'm seeing and what I heard, for a lot of different YouTubers to say that yeah, she's basically just trying to keep her job, but hey, I see nothing wrong with trying to keep your job. I just don't like it if it's what are you if your literal plan is just to destroy a childhood for a lot of North Americans, meaning Canadians, Americans, Mexicans, anyone in the Caribbean and in Central America, and I believe partially throughout South America. I could be mistaken about that, but I'm going through what's been more culturally become more a bit more of the larger portion of the culture that's been more ingrained into people, which mainly is more North America, i.e., mainly Canada and the U.S., but it's also partially ingrained in some portion of Central America, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but hey, I only speak from what I know of. No, so if anyone's got any things to correct me on, feel free to do so. and I'll address them later. But for now, mainly those that the main way on how Disney's been handling Star Wars for a lot of the sequel trilogy and mainly the sequel trilogy and a bit of the comics and the lore bit. It kind of just breaks up the lore so much to the point where people are trying to fix the lore or literally ignore the sequel trilogy films in general, which kind of does get that. And also, it's kind of a mixture of that now Disney's kind of realizing what they should do and what they shouldn't have been doing, which is kind of sad though, because whoever greenlit The Last Jedi and read through Rian Johnson's script without checking through the fan base, yeah, no offense to the director, The Last Jedi, and screenwriter to Last Jedi, no, Rian Johnson, but you really had to kill Star Wars, didn't you? Anyways, besides that side note, I've been hearing a lot on how Kathleen Kennedy's trying to cancel like some shows that both Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas have been working on to try to at least give the Star Wars fans like a better portion of what they want to see, which is a mixture. Well, it's a mixture of the rebuilding of the Jedi Order and the New Republic, which kind of does seem more interesting than whatever the hell Kylo Ren was doing like right before The Force Awakens, but hey, that's just me. Anyways, so I hear that Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas are planning to retcon the sequel trilogy, which to be fair I'm all in favor for and actually make it a bit more different and retcon different characters and stuff, which I can't wait to see because if it's anything that I know that can be done right, it's mainly so far. For those who don't know, Jon Favreau basically was able to manage to get greenlit all the Disney Plus shows, mainly for Star Wars, such as The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and a lot of other. And I'm pretty sure there's a few more stuff, but I could be mistaken. But Jon Favreau is also famous for being in the MCU as Happy Hogan and writing a lot of movies. Stuff is Jon Favreau running a lot of the episodes of both The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. And Dave Filoni, he's the guy who did the 2008 Clone Wars animated film and 2008 through 2012, I believe, Clone Wars animated series, and then did Clone Wars Season 7 and Star Wars Rebels, and yeah, he's basically been a good portion of the fan receptor for the both mediums, and yeah, he's not bad, and he's been working with George Lucas for a long while, and yeah. So currently it seems like there's a tiny bit of a war at Lucasfilm for the rights to it, like who actually gets to own it. As so far as everyone is kind of ignoring Kathleen Kennedy's demands to cancel the shows, which I'm kind of glad about, but it kind of also places a bit on a pressure holder on how much power one has over a company if no one really listens to them. So yeah. Anyways, that's what I got for it from the recent Star Wars updates, which actually seem to be quite good for the fan base. And to be honest, I've been tired of Disney kind of Disney-fying Star Wars even further down to what it was. But I do hear that they are allowing for the fact that they would use lightsabers properly, meaning they would actually slice through things in the Disney films and shows, and that they would cut all the way through any flesh and not give like a bad cut with a heated knife. So yeah, that seems to be quite good, but that's mainly the rumor that I've heard about that one. But the rest I have heard from a lot of other sources that have been credited for being trustworthy about the Star Wars updates, i.e., from a lot of the Star Wars news channels, which there's a lot of, by the way, so they're not that hard to find, but a lot of them do discuss more in detail about it. I'm just giving my opinions on the recent Star Wars update news thing. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Later. Goodbye.